everyone, this is Krista from Spirit and Thread, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to make this cute Cottagecore crochet bralette top.
So for this project, you're going to want size 3 or 4 yarn. I prefer 100% cotton, and I'm going to use 2 colors for my project. A 4mm hook, a tapestry needle, and some scissors. So to start, I'm going to begin by chaining 8 for a size extra small, small, or medium, and for a size large, chaining 9. And if you have a question about sizing, make sure you check the information linked below. I have my sizing chart available. So I'm going to make a size small for myself. So 2, 4, 6, 8 chains. And now I'm going to chain 1. And in the second chain from my hook, I'm going to begin placing half double crochet. So for size extra small, small, and medium, you'll have 8 half double crochet. For a size large, you'll have 9. And you want to half double crochet up until you reach the last chain. In the last chain, I have 1 half double crochet so far, but I'm going to add 4 more to wrap around the chain so that I can begin working on the second side. So I have 1 half double crochet so far, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll see that brought me over to the other side of my chains. And now I'm going to half double crochet into the other side of each chain. And I like to cover up my tail as I go. It makes it easier to sew it in at the end. And I'm placing my final 2 half double crochet. So that is row 1. For row 2, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. This chain counts just as a turning chain, not as your first stitch. So now I'm going to half double crochet in each stitch until I reach the middle half double crochet of my turning chain 5 up here. So half double crochet up until you reach the third of your 5 half double crochet clusters at what will become the top of your bralette cup. So I'm reaching my third half double crochet, and in that middle stitch I'm going to place 5 half double crochet. Again, this helps me turn to work along the other side of my project, and then half double crochet in each remaining stitch. And as you work, you'll already begin to see your bralette cup taking shape. You can see it's a little cup in the making. So I'm going to continue adding half double crochet rows in the same manner. Chain 1 and turn my work, half double crochet in each stitch. In my middle half double crochet, I place 5 half double crochet and then half double crochet along the next side. And you're going to repeat that for size extra small, small, and medium until you have 6 half double crochet rows. For a size large, you're going to repeat that until you have 7 half double crochet rows. So go ahead and add your remaining half double crochet rows based on your desired size, and meet me back here after you finish your final half double crochet row. So I just finished my final half double crochet row, and here is how my work is looking so far. For the next set of rows, we're going to be following a similar pattern but using double crochets. So to start, we'll chain 2 and turn our work, and that first chain 2 counts as your first double crochet. So here's our first double crochet. In the next stitch, I'm going to place a double crochet, and then I'm going to double crochet in each stitch across up until I reach that same middle half double crochet from my 5 half double crochet cluster. I'm reaching my third half double crochet from this cluster, and in that stitch I'm going to place 5 double crochet, And after my 5th double crochet, I'm going to continue along this side, placing a double crochet in each stitch. I just placed my final double crochet, and now I'm going to repeat this row by chaining 2 and turning my work. My chain 2 counts as my first double crochet. I double crochet into the next stitch, and then I double crochet into each stitch leading up to my middle double crochet of that 5 double crochet cluster. In that middle stitch, I place 5 double crochet and then double crochet in each remaining stitch. And I'm going to repeat this pattern until I have a total of 2 double crochet rows for a size extra small, 3 double crochet rows for a size small, 5 double crochet rows for a size medium, and 7 double crochet rows for a size large. And this is really customizable, so I have sizing guidelines, but you can also create your cups and hold them up to you to see when you reach your approximate desired size, minus 1 single crochet border row that we'll add after we finish our cups. So go ahead and create your desired cup, and I'll meet you here after you place your final double crochet of your final row. I'm finishing up my final double crochet row. I'm making a size small, so that's 3 rows. Placing my final double crochet, and here is my cup. So for the first cup that we make, leave a 12-inch long tail approximately, because we'll be using this tail to sew our bralette cups together for a little extra stability. So fasten off, but leave a long tail for sewing, and then repeat all of these steps to create a cup that is the same size. For your second cup, do not fasten off. Come meet me back here and we'll take you through the next set of steps. I'm finishing up my second bralette cup. Here is my final double crochet. And I am going to not fasten off, but kind of put this on pause for a quick moment before we add our joining row for our 2 bralette cups. I am going to use my long tail here to sew these 2 cups together up a few stitches to add some extra support when you're wearing your bralette cup. So the more support you need, perhaps the bustier you are, you're going to want to sew up higher, maybe between 8 and 10 stitches. For a size extra small, you might not want to sew up at all. So really it's a personal preference. For my size small and for my preferred coverage, I'm just going to sew up into 4 sets of double crochets. So I'm using my tapestry needle, and I'm using this tail to sew together the 4 touching double crochets at the base here where my 2 cups connect. Three and 4. Now I like this to be very secure, so I'm going to go back through each set in the opposite direction. There we go. Now these are a bit more secure. I'm going to cut this down so it's not quite as in the way. And now I am ready to begin working in the waistband of my bralette. My 2 bralette cups are joined, and now I'm going to begin a single crochet row across the bottom of each of my cups. To do that, I will chain 1 as my turning chain. In each double crochet row, I'm going to place 2 single crochet, and in each half double crochet row, I'm going to place 1 single crochet. Once I reach the middle between my first 2 half double crochet rows, I am going to skip over that middle. So that's right here. I'm going to skip over that and go right into the next half double crochet row, 1 single crochet per half double crochet row, and I'll approach my double crochet rows again and place 2 single crochet per double crochet row. 2 single crochet in my final double crochet row. And then I'm going to begin working in my next bralette cup, placing 2 single crochet in the first double crochet row of my next bralette cup. And repeat those steps until I've single crocheted in each row across the bottom of my 2 bralette cups. I just placed my final single crochet in my final double crochet row. Now I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work. And this counts as my first double crochet. I'm going to double crochet in the next stitch and in each stitch across. So our first waistband row was a single crochet. The second row is double crochet. I just placed my final double crochet row. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work and create another single crochet row. So single crochet into my first stitch and in each stitch across. I just placed my final single crochet and I'm going to chain 2 and turn to begin row 4, which is another double crochet row. So my chain 2 counts as my first double crochet, and then I am double crocheting in each stitch across. After this row, you can continue adding alternating single crochet and double crochet rows to add length to your bralette. I'm going to stop after this double crochet row because I want to then add my little belt waistband. But if you want more length, a bit more coverage for your belly, then you can keep adding alternating single crochet and double crochet rows, ending with a double crochet row. I just placed my final double crochet and I am ready to add my belt rows in an accent color. So I'm going to fasten off in my main color, turn my work, and slip stitch in my accent color to fasten on. I'm going to use this lighter blue. And I'm going to slip stitch right where I just fastened off to connect. And I'm going to chain 1 as my turning chain and single crochet into each stitch across. I just finished placing my final single crochet. I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work. And for this next row, this is where we're going to weave our bow through. So chain 2, this counts as your first double crochet. In your next stitch, double crochet. Then chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. And we're going to repeat that pattern across. And what that will do is create these chain 1 spaces where we can then weave our string and our bow through after we finish the rest of this bralette. So go ahead and repeat that pattern across this row, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, and I will meet you at the end of the row. I'm approaching the end of this row. After I placed this double crochet, I have 2 stitches remaining, so that means I have room to do 1 more chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. If you have 1 more stitch remaining after this, place another double crochet here. Do not skip and chain 1, just place another double crochet. So for my next row, I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and single crochet in each double crochet and chain across. So single crochet into my double crochet, into the chain, and repeat this across until you have single crocheted in each stitch and chain. I just placed my final single crochet and I'm going to fasten off my accent color here to return to my base color. But don't put your accent yarn too far, you're going to be needing it again soon. All right, you can turn your work and fasten on in the same stitch you just fastened off in your main color. And your next row in your main color is going to be a double crochet row. So start by chaining 2, 1, 2, that counts as my first double crochet, and then double crochet in each stitch across. I just placed my final double crochet row, and now I'm going to chain one and turn my work 90 degrees to work along the side here. I'm going to be adding a few more rows to expand your waistband. And so I chained one as my turning chain. Now I am placing 2 single crochet in each double crochet row and 1 single crochet in each single crochet row. As I go, I like to crochet over these ends here so they're easier to sew in. And I'm placing 2 single crochet in these double crochet rows, 1 per single crochet row, and I'm approaching the stitches of my bralette cup. So you'll see I just placed single crochet in all of my waistband rows. Now I'm approaching my bralette cup, these stitches. For a size small, I'm going to single crochet into 6 of these stitches. And what this is doing is just kind of securing your side boob, basically. So for larger cups, you're going to want to go up higher on your bralette. For smaller cups, you can probably get away with going up fewer stitches. But for a small, kind of in the middle, I'm going to go up 6 into my bralette cup. Then I'm going to chain 2 and turn. My chain 2 counts as my first double crochet. In my next 2 stitches, I'm going to double crochet 2 together. This is going to decrease along this edge here, which will help create a sloped edge so it's not so abrupt before becoming my waistband ties. So double crochet 2 together, and then double crochet in your remaining stitches in this row. After your last double crochet, you're going to chain 2 and turn. Your chain 2 counts as your first double crochet. You are going to double crochet in each stitch until 3 stitches remain. 3 stitches remain. I'm going to double crochet 2 together and then double crochet into my final stitch. You're going to repeat alternating these 2 rows until you reach your desired length for half of what will wrap around your waistband. So I'll get you started again. Chain 2 counts as your first double crochet. In your next 2 stitches, double crochet 2 together, and then double crochet in each stitch across. You're continuing to decrease along one edge here, which will create a diagonal. So continue adding these alternating rows until when you put your bralette on, this wraps to just short of halfway around your back, because your other side will provide the rest of the waistband. So go ahead and alternate these rows until you reach your desired length. Mine is about 1 inch. I just reached my desired number of rows here. So I have 7 double crochet rows, 1 single crochet row. I'm ending on an even number of total rows in this waistband here, so that my end of this last row is on the same side as where I began the row. Now I'm going to add a few finishing rows to create waistband loops to weave my ties through. So chain 1 and then turn your work and single crochet in each stitch across. After your final single crochet, you're going to chain 1 and turn. And here we're going to create our waistband loops. So skip your first stitch to go into your second stitch. That's the 3rd from your hook. Single crochet into that stitch, and then chain 4, skip 1, single crochet to create a loop. You can space out your loops as you'd like, but that's the basic pattern. Have single crochet between your loops, and when you're ready to add another loop, chain 4, skip 1, single crochet. You can add as many as you'd like, and they'll be spaced out differently depending on the size of your top, because you'll have different stitch counts for your rows. But you just want to make sure that you're ending with a waistband loop and starting with a waistband loop. So I'm creating my final loop when I have 2 stitches remaining. I'm going to chain 4, skip 1, and single crochet in my final stitch. Now I'm going to fasten off and reattach to my second side to repeat all of these steps so I can create my waistband on the second side. So here I'm going to slip stitch to fasten on in this corner, the bottom corner on the other unworked side of my bralette. I'm going to slip stitch to fasten on and then single crochet 2 times per double crochet row, 1 time per single crochet row. And I'm approaching my bralette cup. I'm going to place the same number of stitches as I did on my first side. So I did 6 for a size small. I'm going to do the same. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chain 2, that counts as my first double crochet 2 together, and then double crochet in each stitch across. And you are back to these alternating rows where you're decreasing on this edge and placing double crochets in all the remaining stitches. You want to make this side match your former waistband side. So add the same number of double crochet rows and then add matching waistband loop rows with those 2 finishing single crochet rows. After you finish the second waistband side, meet me back here. I just finished my second side and I'm back at the bottom edge of my bralette cup. Going to chain 1 and single crochet in each single crochet and double crochet row that I just created. 1 single crochet per single crochet row, 2 single crochet per double crochet row. And once I reach these open stitches from the main body of my bralette cup, I'm going to single crochet into each stitch. So what I'm doing is creating a single crochet row edge along this bottom edge of my bralette cup that I can then work into for my next row. So continue to single crochet along the next remaining stitches here and your other waistband. I just placed my final single crochet and I'm going to fasten off, but look, I just finished my skein. I love when that happens, when I have just enough yarn. But anyway, fasten off, and we are going to switch back to our accent color for our final border row. This is very exciting. So flip your work, slip stitch to connect where you just fastened off in your accent color. And we are going to add some shells along the base bottom edge of your bralette cup in a scallop stitch. So slip stitch to connect. So single crochet into your first stitch, skip 1. In your next stitch, place 5 double crochet. Skip 1, single crochet. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way across. We'll do it together a few more times. So skip 1, in your next stitch, place 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 1, single crochet. Skip 1, 5 double crochet. Skip 1, single crochet. And repeat that pattern across this entire bottom edge. I just placed my final scallop here. I don't have enough stitches remaining to place another full scallop. That's okay, you might not have your final single crochet of a scallop pattern ending in your final stitch. If you have a few remaining stitches, just single crochet into those stitches. Now you're going to turn your work 90 degrees to work into your waistband loops. You're going to single crochet once per single crochet and once per chain in your waistband loop. So into each of these waistband loops that you made, chain 4, and then single crochet into each single crochet stitch, into the next waistband loop, chain 4, single crochet into the stitches between, and continue this until all of your waistband stitches are filled. At the end of this row, we're going to turn our work 90 degrees to work along the top edge of these waistband rows. And we're going to single crochet once into each single crochet row and twice into each double crochet row. The majority of these rows are double crochet rows, so single crochet 2 times into each of these. I'm single crocheting into my single crochet row here, and then skip this double crochet where you single crocheted for your first waistband row and single crochet into the next available double crochet. Now you are going to single crochet into each stitch on the first side of your bralette cup up until you reach the 3rd double crochet of your top 5 double crochet cluster. That middle stitch is where we're going to add our neck strap. So single crochet up into each stitch along this side and continue until you reach the 3rd double crochet of this 5 double crochet cluster. Single crochet into that stitch and then chain your desired length for your neck strap. For me, I'm going to chain 50. I just chained 50. Now I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet in the same direction that I just came along each of these chains. And this is going to give me a more reinforced neck strap. So you are single crocheting into each chain that you just made, moving in the direction back toward your bralette cup. I'm finishing up my single crochets into these chains here. Here's my first chain, and I'm going to single crochet into the same middle stitch one more time, and then single crochet along the second edge of this bralette cup. I'm almost done with the second edge. And once I reach the stitches where I sewed my cups together, in these 2 stitches here, I'm going to single crochet 2 together. And then continue to single crochet the first edge of my second bralette cup. Once you get to your 3rd double crochet here, you're going to repeat the steps to create another neck strap. And then you're going to repeat the steps along this side here of your bralette cup, single crocheting into each of these stitches, single crocheting along this edge, and single crocheting along the waistband loops, slip stitching into your first single crochet of this border round, and then fastening off. So I just finished my second strap, this next edge here, along the top of my waistband and along the waistband loops. I placed my final single crochet here, and now I am going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of this border round. And that completes the border round. I'm going to fasten off. And I am almost done. Our final few steps are going to be to chain a waistband tie and to add a belt here that we're then going to tie into a bow in the middle that we weave through these spaces here. I'm going to double up my yarn and use 2 strands of size 3 or 4 yarn. leaving a tail that's a couple inches. And I'm going to use a larger hook. For me, that's 5.5. It doesn't really matter as long as it's big enough to accommodate 2 strands, because I want the belt running through here to be a bit more pronounced. So to add the belt, I am going to slip stitch into the first of my double crochet between 2 chain spaces. And we want to do this with the right side facing up. You'll be able to tell what the right side of your project is because the border row will be right side facing you. So I'm slip stitching into my first double crochet here, and then chaining to create the belt that you will then weave through here after you fasten off. But first we're just going to chain until we reach the approximate length we want half of our belt to be, until it reaches halfway across this region here and leaves enough room to tie a bow. So I think I'm just about there. It's long enough to reach halfway across, and I can imagine half of my bow here. That looks like it's about the right length. So I'm going to not tie this knot, but fasten off. And now I'll weave this through every alternating double crochet, chain 1 space. Until I reach the middle here. And then I'm going to pull it tight, and you can see here's my little belt taking shape. And this is still long enough to create half of my bow that will be sitting right in the middle here. I'm going to leave this untied at the end so that once both of my sides are done, I can make sure my strings are the exact same length. So now I will repeat these steps on this side. I'm getting 2 strands of the yarn, leaving a couple inch tail, and then fastening on to the first double crochet. And I'm going to chain until it reaches approximately the same length as my first side. Again, I won't fasten off, so I can reduce one of the belt sides here so that they're both the same length. But as long as I'm close to the same length, that's good enough for now. So fasten off, weave my second belt through my double crochet chain 1 spaces until we're just 1 double crochet apart. And now we are ready to measure these to make sure they're the same length. So kind of pull your project apart so that these are the appropriate length. They're not too tight, they're not too loose inside your little belt loops here. And then measure your remaining straps so that they can be the same length. This one's a bit long, so I'm going to take it down just a bit. Now I'm ready to shorten these ends. Leave about 1 centimeter. And I'll do the same for my second side. And now I'm ready to tie my little bow. So I'm going to double knot so we're nice and secure. And then carefully tie the prettiest bow I can making sure that the tails on each side are about the same length. And then I actually like to take my tapestry needle and take one of my scrap ends and sew to attach my bow into the project so it stays perfectly positioned when it's being worn. Otherwise, these tops of the bow might fold down. You can't really tell what it is. So I like taking a little scrap piece like this and actually fastening the top of my bow to my project. So I'll make sure that it's placed the way that I like it. And then I sew to fasten this piece right here so it stays in place. And I'm just tying a knot because this is the wrong side. It's not going to be visible when your top's being worn. So that side's kind of secure. And I'll do that on the other side as well. Make sure it's positioned the way that I like, and then come in from the back to sew this bow in place. And this is really your final step on the body of your bralette. At this point, you'll want to chain about 24 to 36 inches or your desired length to become your waistband straps that'll tie this around your back. It'll tie up like shoelaces. I'm going to use my white yarn just for fun instead of this light blue. And I'm going to chain about 36 inches to become the tie around my back. After you complete this waistband strap, you can fasten off and sew in all of the ends on your project, and then you're done. I just sewed in my ends, and now I'm going to show you how you will weave your waistband strap. So imagine you're inside of your bralette. This is wrapped around your back. You are going to tie this up like shoelaces, starting at the bottom and then crossing over on each side into your next loop and repeating until all of your loops are filled. And here is how your final bralette will look.
And here is how your top will look when you're wearing it. Here's how the back ties up. And here's your cute little bow. I hope you loved this tutorial. Please let me know if you have any feedback in the comments. And if you like and subscribe to my channel, it helps me continue to build momentum and release more crochet tutorials. So thank you so much for following along today. I hope you had a good time and happy crocheting.